Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, thank you all for joining this morning. I'm hoping some people also more will join soon, but we'll make a start. And we are still on the subject of Sati and Shiva. And as you know, that last week, Sati was adamant that she wants to go to her father's house, and Lord Shiva was trying to stop her, but she was just, her mind was so stuck in her proposal that she didn't care about whether it was good for her, what detrimental effect it will have on her husband or herself. She just wanted to go. So we'll just continue from there. And this is Sage Maitreya explaining to Vidur. Sage Maitreya said, Lord Shiva was silent after speaking to Sati. So Lord Shiva tried to advise her not to go, and he gave the reasons, and then he became quiet. Now it's your choice. We have a free will. So he was allowing her free will. Seeing her between decisions, Sati was very much anxious to see her relatives at her father's house. But at the same time, she was afraid of Lord Shiva's warning. Her mind unsettled, she moved in and out of the room as a swing moves this way and that. Sati felt very sorry at being forbidden to go see her relatives at her father's house, and due to affection for them, tears fell from her eyes. Shaking and very much afflicted, she looked at her uncommon husband, Lord Shiva, as if she were going to blast him with her vision. So she has so much attachment for her family that nothing can sway her from her decision. But she's still a little bit afraid, and she doesn't really want to go on her own. So she's thinking, I want to go, but what's the best way that I can leave without looking silly? So let's do a quick prayer. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Mukham Kroti Vachalam Pangum Namyate Gurim Yat Kirpatam Homande Shri Gurun Din Taranam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishram Hari Om Tassat Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Cheva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udiriyat Nasta Paresham Avdareshu Nityam Bhagavad Sevya Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhakti Bhavati Neshtaki. So thereafter Sati left her husband. So she decided she's going. Lord Shiva, who had given her half his body due to affection, breathing very heavily because of anger and bereavement, she went to the house of her father. This less intelligent act was due to her being a weak woman. According to the Vedic conception of family life, the husband gives half his body to his wife, and the wife gives half of her body to her husband. In other words, a husband without a wife or a wife without a husband is incomplete. Vedic marital relationship existed between Lord Shiva and Sati, but sometimes due to weakness, a woman becomes very much attracted by the members of her father's house. And this happened to Sati. In this verse, it is specifically mentioned that she wanted to leave such a great husband as Shiva because of her womanly weakness. Because woman is meant to be soft-hearted, she becomes attached very quickly. In other words, womanly weakness exists even in the relation between husband and wife. Generally, separation between husband and wife is due to womanly behavior. Divorce takes place due to womanly weakness. The best course for a woman is to abide by the orders of her husband. That makes family life very peaceful. Sometimes there may be misunderstandings between husband and wife, as found in even in such an elevated family relationship as that of Sati and Lord Shiva. But a wife should not leave her husband's protection because of such a misunderstanding. If she does so, it is understood to be due to her womanly weakness. So this is Prabhupada explaining, although many women might not agree with this nowadays, but Sri Prabhupada explaining this. When they saw Sati leaving alone very rapidly, thousands of Lord Shiva's disciples, headed by Maniman and Madh, quickly followed her with his bull Nandi in front and accompanied by the Yakshas. The disciples of Lord Shiva arranged for Sati to be seated on the back of a bull and gave her the bird which was her pet. They bore a lotus flower, a mirror, and all such paraphernalia for her enjoyment and covered her with a great canopy, followed by a singing party with drums, conch shells, and bugles. The entire procession was as pompous as a royal parade. So the disciples of Lord Shiva, consider them yakshas or ghouls, whatever, but they treated Mata Sati like a queen and gave her all respect. She then reached her father's house where the sacrifice being performed and entered the arena where everyone was chanting the Vedic hymns. The great sages, Brahmins, and demigods were all assembled there, and there were many sacrificial animals such as pots made of clay, as well as pots made of clay, stone, gold, grass, and skin, which were all requisite for the sacrifice. When Sati, with her followers, reached the arena, because of all the people assembled were afraid of Daksh, none of them received her well. No one welcomed her but her mother and sisters, who, with tears in their eyes and with glad faces, welcomed her and talked with her very pleasingly. The mother and sisters of Sati could not follow the others, who did not receive Sati very well. Due to natural affection, they immediately embraced her with tears in their eyes and with loving feelings. This shows that women as a class are very soft-hearted. Their natural affection and love cannot be checked by artificial means. Although the men present were very learned Brahmins and demigods, they were afraid of their superior Daksh, and because they knew that their welcoming Sati would displease him. Although in their minds they wanted to receive her, they could not do so. Women are naturally soft-hearted, but men are sometimes very hard-hearted. So although she was received by her sisters and mother, she did not reply to the words of reception. And although she was offered a seat and presents, she did not accept anything. For her father neither talked with her nor welcomed her by asking about her welfare. So she had specifically come to see her father's attitude. She really had expected that he would welcome her because she was his favorite daughter. And although he did not acknowledge her in any way, and now Sati is very upset and angry, and she wants to clear the air. She doesn't care what's going on, who's there. She's determined to sort this matter out. Although she was received by her sisters and mother, she did not reply to their words of reception. And although she was offered a seat and presents, she did not accept anything. For her father neither talked with her nor welcomed her by asking about her welfare. Sati did not accept the greetings offered by her sister and mother, for she was not at all satisfied by her father's silence. Sati was the youngest child of Daksh, and she knew that she was his pet, but now because of association with Lord Shiva, Daksh forgot all his affection for his daughter, and this very much aggrieved her. The material bodily conception is so polluted that even upon slight provocation, all our relationships of love and affection are nullified. Body relationships are so transient that even though one is affectionate towards someone in a bodily relationship, a slight provocation terminates this intimacy. Yeah, this is amazing because, you just think about the bad thing that somebody done to you, but all the good things they've done, even your family, you forget so quickly. But someone bad thing somebody does, you never forget. This is our conception, bodily conception. Present in the area of sacrifice, Sati saw that there were no oblations for her husband, Lord Shiva. Next, she realized that not only had her father failed to invite Lord Shiva, but when he saw Lord Shiva's exalted wife, Daksh did not receive her either. Thus, she became great angry. So she is seeing herself as the wife of Shiva rather than the daughter of Daksh because of the lack of welcome. Thus, she became greatly angry, so much so that she looked at her father as she were going to burn him with her eyes. By offering oblations in the fire while chanting the Vedic mantra Swaha, one offers respect to all the demigods, great sages and pitas, including Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, and Lord Vishnu. It is customary that Shiva is one of those who are offered respects. But Sati, while personally present in the arena, saw that Brahmanas did not utter the mantra offering oblations to Lord Shiva. Nama Shivaya Swaha. She was not sorry for herself, for she was already to come to her father's house without being invited. But she wanted to see whether or not her husband was being respected. To see her relatives, her sisters and mothers, was not so important. Even when she was received by her mother and sisters, she did not care. But because today she was on a mission, right? She didn't care right now about what the family, who was there and who was speaking to her, who was giving respect, because she wanted respect from her father. She wanted her father's respect, and that was on top of her agenda. So she was most concerned that her husband was being insulted in the sacrifice. When she marked the insult, she became greatly angry and she looked at her father so angrily that Daksh appeared to burn in her vision. So now she's more concerned about the fact that her husband didn't get any respect. The followers of Lord Shiva, the ghosts, were ready to injure or kill Daksh, but Sati stopped them by her order. She was very angry and sorrowful, and in that mood, she began to condemn the process of sacrificial fruitive activities and persons who are very proud of such unnecessary and troublesome sacrifices. She especially condemned her father, speaking against him in the presence of all. So Sati is thinking, what is the point of all these sacrifices and praising the gods, that if you picking and choosing who you're going to please and not following the process properly? The process of offering sacrifices is especially meant to satisfy Vishnu, who is called Yagnesha. Because he's the enjoyer of the fruits of all sacrifice, as mentioned, Bhagavad-Gita also confirms this fact that Lord says, Bhaktaram Yagyatapasam is actually beneficiary of all sacrifices. Not knowing this fact, less intelligent men offer sacrifice for some material benefit. To derive personal material benefits for sense gratification is a reason persons like Daksh and his followers perform sacrifices. Such sacrifices are condemned here as a labor of love without actual profit. This is confirmed in Srimad Bhagavatam. One may prosecute the Vedic injunctions of offering sacrifices and other fruitive activities, but if by such activities one does not develop attraction for Vishnu, they are useless labors. One who has developed love for Vishnu must develop love and respect for Vishnu's devotees. Lord Shiva is considered the foremost personality amongst the Vaishnavas, Vaishnavam Yatha Shambhu. Thus, when Sati saw that her father was performing great sacrifice but had no respect for the greatest devotee, Lord Shiva, she was very angry. This is fitting because you can use your anger when a devotee is being insulted. You can't use your anger for yourself, but you can use it for another devotee. When Vishnu or Vaishnav is insulted, one should be angry. Lord Chaitanya, who always preached non-violence, meekness, and humility, also became angry when Nityananda was offended by Jagai and Madai, and he wanted to kill them. When Vishnu or Vaishnav is blasphemed or dishonored, one should be very angry. We have anger, and that anger can be a great quality when directed against a person who is envious of the Supreme Personality Godhead or his devotee. So all the emotions that we have, they have a purpose. We should use them in the service of the Lord. That's the, I think, explanation here. So all emotions are there for a purpose. They should be used in the service of the Lord. One should not be tolerant when a person is offensive towards Vishnu or Vaishnav. The anger of Sati towards her father was not objectionable. Although he was her father, he was trying to insult the greatest Vaishnav. The blessed goddess said, Lord Shiva is the most beloved of all living entities. So now she's speaking now to her father. Lord Shiva is the most beloved of all living entities. He has no rival. No one is very dear to him, and no one is his enemy. No one but you could be envious of such a universal being who is free from all enmity. So in Bhagavad-Gita, it's explained that Samaham Sarvabhuteshu, the Lord, I am all equal to all living entities. Similarly, Lord Shiva is a qualitative incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So he has almost the same qualities as the Supreme Lord. Therefore, he is equal to everyone, just like Lord Krishna, Lord Narayan. Shiva is also equal to everyone. No one is his enemy and no one is his friend. But one who is envious by nature can become the enemy of Lord Shiva. Therefore, Sati accused her father, no one but you could be envious of Lord Shiva or be his enemy. All the sages and learned Brahmins were present, but they were not envious of Lord Shiva, although they were all dependent on Daksh. Therefore, no one but Daksh could be envious of Lord Shiva. That was the accusation of Sati. She said that in this room only you are envious of him, nobody else is envious of him. And then she continues to say to her father, twice born Daksh, now looks like she's calling by his name because she wants to finish her relationship of father and daughter. Twice born Daksh, a man like you can simply find fault in the qualities of others. Lord Shiva, however, not only finds no faults with other qualities, but if someone has a little good quality, he magnifies it greatly. And that, being Vaishnavas, that should be our attitude as well. We don't look at other people's bad qualities. Everybody has bad qualities. We have bad qualities. We find some good quality in them and we magnify it. That is the way to build a relationship with people, not tell them how bad they are. Then, we don't get anywhere. They'll tell you how bad you are as well. So very important that we magnify other people's good qualities. In that way, we get their favor and we also help them to even get better at what they're good at. Unfortunately, you have found fault with such a great soul. King Daksh is addressed here by his daughter Sati, or Twitch-born, twice-born. Twice-born refers to the higher class of men, namely the Brahmins, Kshatriyas, and Vaishyas. In other words, a Dvij is not an ordinary man, but one who has studied the Vedic literatures from a spiritual master and can discriminate between good and bad. Therefore, it is supposed that he understands logic and philosophy. Sati, Daksh's daughter, put before him sound arguments. There are some highly qualified persons who accept only the good qualities of others. Just as a bee is always interested in the honey in the flower, and does not consider the tones and colors. So example is going to be that because since there are tones there and maybe very strong colors, the bee is not interested in those. He's just interested in the honey they can extract from that flower. And that should be how we should be. That we should have a focus on the good qualities of people. What is nectar? We should concentrate on that. Highly qualified persons who are uncommon accept only the good qualities of others, not considering the bad qualities, whereas the common man can judge what are good qualities and what are bad qualities. Among the uncommonly good souls, there are still gradations. And the best good soul is one who accepts an insignificant asset of a person and magnifies that quality. So Lord Shiva is called Ashutosh, which refers to one who is satisfied very easily and who offers to any person the highest level of benediction. So this is Lord Shiva. He's easily pleased and he'll give you the highest benediction very easily. For example, when a devotee of the Lord Shiva wanted the benediction, so here's a typical example here, that Lord Shiva's devotee wanted benediction that whenever he touched someone on the head, the person's head would at once be separated from his trunk. Lord Shiva agreed, although the benediction asked was not very commendable because the devotee wanted to kill his enemy. Lord Shiva considered the devotee's good quality in worshipping and satisfying him and granted the benediction. Thus, Lord Shiva accepted his bad qualities as magnificently good qualities. But Sati accused her father, you are just the opposite. Although Lord Shiva has so many good qualities and no bad qualities at all, you have accepted him as bad and found fault with him. Because of your accepting his good qualities to be bad, instead of you becoming the most exalted soul, you have become the most fallen. A man becomes the greatest soul by accepting the goodness of others' qualities. But by unnecessarily considering others' good qualities to be bad, you have become the lowest of the fallen souls. So we have to be very careful how we, in our dealings, these pastimes, they are there to teach us how we interact with people, how we see them. If we see good qualities in other people, they will also see the good qualities in us. And as we magnify their good qualities, our good qualities will be magnified as well. So always associate with people's good qualities. If you associate, whatever you associate with, that's what you will become. If you associate with people's bad qualities, always thinking about the bad qualities, then it's very likely that you will get those as well. So we have to be very, very careful in our dealings, and very good example set here by Sati. Although when she came because of attachment and love for the family, but now she's on a mission to get respect for her husband that he truly deserves. And she put forward an argument that there is no reason why Lord Shiva should be insulted. There's no reason why he should not be respected. So thank you so much for joining. My father-in-law ji, Hina Mataji, Shani Mataji, Partha Prabhu, Parveen Mataji, Prem Prakash Prabhu, and Sarveshya Mataji. Thank you so much, and we'd like to get your points on this. Maybe Hina Mataji would like to make any comments on this? Okay.
Haribol Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you for Hare Krishna. Thank you for a lovely class this morning. Yeah, I like this pastime, and it's one that, I guess, in terms of my own thoughts on it, it's really weird. I do really admire Sati's position in the way that she's trying to defend her husband. I do find that really admirable, but at the same time, I've got mixed thoughts around obviously her attending the program at her father's place in the first instance and going against what her husband had asked her to do. So yeah, I mean, it's a difficult topic, to be honest. I think personally for me, I think yeah, what I do find admirable is the fact that she is, her intentions at the end is trying to defend her husband. So yeah, that's what I find quite, I guess, inspiring, I could say.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yeah, absolutely right. She came due to her attachment to her family. She was not thinking logically, because her mind was just totally controlling her. Husband warned her, and she gave it some thought, but not enough thought. But I think maybe she decided that she wants to see for herself that is it so? Maybe the whole thing could have been kept under wraps, but I think she wanted to really find out for herself, what the real, what actually she wanted to find out whether her husband was being, again and again being insulted, and he's been, having the same treatment today. And I think she wanted to make or break the situation. Yeah, in one way, she was illogical about coming. Another way, she was also very brave. She wanted to face this thing head on instead of hiding. So you're right, it is very complicated situation.
Yeah.
Forward, what should I do? What should I do? Do I face it head on? Should I just listen to my husband and forget all about it? But then she thinks, why should I forget about it? He's the greatest Vaishnav. He's being insulted. I should go and sort this out. If they accept me, that's fine. Then I will try and talk to them. That please, let's resolve this nicely. If they don't accept me, then I will do something today and resolve the matter myself. So thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Okay, so Shani Mother is listening only. Partha Prabhu?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, such a nice pastime this is. More learning from this. I mean, you have covered like, initially you said like her mind is unsettled. So this is the situation of us in a daily life. And we often come across this kind of situation, like whether to go or not to go, what is best in this scenario. Even I heard like some devotees, when they come to Sunday Sangha, they also feel like, okay, if nobody is looking at me, why should I come? Even they have some dilemma in their mind, like somebody doesn't come to Sunday Sangha thinking that nobody is actually bothering about me there. Nobody is caring about me there. But they need to understand what is the real purpose of coming to Sunday Sangha anyhow there. And just one point, Prabhuji, on the seeing the good qualities. Like normally we hear this particular pastime or story where Yudhishthira Maharaj and Duryodhan, they were asked by their master, like Duryodhan was asked to find a good person and bring one good person by the end of the day, and he will go out and he will come with no person with him. So when master asked him, he said like, I don't find any good person. There is no good person than me, because he don't see any good qualities in any other person. He look only for bad qualities. Whereas Yudhishthira Maharaj was also given the same task. Yudhishthira Maharaj also, end of the day, he will not come with any person, but he was asked to get a one bad person. So, but Yudhishthira Maharaj could not find, because he see only good in the other people. He could not see any bad. At least one good thing is there. He think that there's a good person than him as well. So that is how, like, if you see the good qualities, you will see good. But if you see bad, you can find bad as well. That's all, Pravesh.
Absolutely. Wonderful. Yes, thank you, Prabhu. This is the thing, because everybody has good and bad qualities. It's your choice. Which one do you want to promote? Do you want to promote the bad qualities? Do you want to promote the good qualities? And you can get, you can make a person really bad by highlighting the bad qualities, or you can make a person really look really good by highlighting the good qualities. It's your choice. Everybody has good and bad, but which one do you pick on? That will determine how you make the other person look. And in case of Daksh, he's just picking on that one thing, that he has problem with Shiva, but he's not even looking at his good qualities. Thank you. Thank you so much. Praveen Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam to everyone. Yeah, very nice pastime. Again, I think we're learning the consequences of attachment here. So Sati Mata's attachment to the family and the consequences of that. Yeah, sorry, my grandson, I'm looking after him as well. He's speaking. And the other point, yes, we learned, so we only need to focus on the good qualities of the person. Otherwise, we can never have a good relationship. And the example given by Partha, it's very good. We'll have to remember, Duryodhan can only see the bad and Yudhishthira Maharaj can only see the good in the people. Yeah, thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you so much. Yeah, we learn a lesson every week, something we can take with us and use it in our lives. I mean, nothing more better than that. And Prem Prakash Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam Prabhuji. Yeah, I mean, it's a pastime which has, I think there are a lot of learnings basically, but I was just listening today as a pastime and trying to see that how the things will turn up. But there are so much balances, imbalances, and soft line of balances are there, which seems to be correct from one perspective, but incorrect from the other perspective. And they trigger. So one thing triggers other. So it can be argued that Sati Mata didn't want to, Sati Mata wanted to actually go to her father's place, disregarding her husband's recommendations, Lord Shiva's recommendation. But on the other hand, it could be also seen from the perspective that he wanted to witness and take some action against the thing that is going against his husband. You see, on one hand, it seems like he's affectionate to his family. She still believes that she can go to her family anytime, regardless whether she is invited or not. On the other hand, she wants to correct her family, saying that something wrong going on. And that's an example that even if family members are, doing something wrong, one should take some action or do some act to correct them. That's something which is necessary. Otherwise, the wrongdoings will keep on going wrong. So from those perspective, it seems like it's very dual kind of things to decide that what is correct and what is incorrect at the moment. And Srila Prabhupada, if we have to consider what we have to do, then we have to consider the instruction of our Guru. Like Srila Prabhupada is instructing us that women should also always follow. If they are, I see from the perspective is that Srila Prabhupada is trying to say that when there are dualities, in life, basically, then one should surrender to an authority and follow the instruction. When the thing seems to be correct as well as incorrect, and there is a tough decision to be taken, then one should surrender to an authority and take a decision. For us, if there are some dualities, when we actually, because we are not matured enough to take some decision in our life, as well as our spiritual life, let it be material or spiritual life. So we have to surrender to an authority whom we trust and we can follow. And we have to know the authority. Here, Srila Prabhupada is saying that she should have listened to her husband. So Srila Prabhupada is suggesting that if some dualities are there, then women should actually surrender to the good guidelines, basically, of the husband. It's not saying that in every respect one should be uh, obviously, I will not deny Srila Prabhupada, but I'm just giving an example that if there are dualities, I'm just putting extended example. I'm not actually negating anything else because it's Srila Prabhupada's instruction that if there are dualities in life when its decision is tough to be taken, for us it's Guru Maharaj, our authority, and Srila Prabhupada's instruction in Srimad Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavad-Gita and his books that we have to take shelter to. And we have to remember that the important thing is that we have to remember the instructions, because when the dualities are there, when the decisions are tough to be taken, we tend to forget. So if there's someone sakshat, I mean, if someone is present straightway and giving instruction, like in case of Parvati Mata, it's Lord Shiva. She should have listened to. I mean, by the instruction, she should have actually listened to Lord Shiva to avoid unwanted situation or difficult situation. And for us, basically, if we are in some situation, we should surrender to uh, our Guru Maharaj's instructions, Srila Prabhupada's instruction, and Krishna's will. So that's what we should. That's what learning I'll derive from here, from the instructions. Obviously, there are further, as the things and the dualities progress, then there are corrections that can be done. And in this assembly, Sati Mata is going to do the corrections. Those are catastrophic, but those were necessary to actually give right instruction, or probably set an example that what has to be done in some situation, in this kind of situation. So that's what I'll take it from the narrations, the fasting today, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Yeah, I mean, you're right. And I mean, Sati, she respects her husband, and she knows his good qualities. And even then, she was not able to follow his instructions, or as you mentioned, his recommendations. So it's a very difficult one. So in today's society, well, for start, husbands are not necessarily Lord Shiva. Then they don't have that high quality. So very difficult for a wife to listen to instructions of the husband. I mean, that's the first thing, you know. And yeah, so this is, I think we should at least listen to who we consider to be our guru instruction. Like we follow Srila Prabhupada, we follow his instructions. So great that we have this facility that we can follow the Shastras, at least do the, try to follow, see everything from the eyes of the Shastras and try and follow that. Because we don't, I mean, Shiva is Lord Shiva, he is has the qualities of Narayan, whereas we have defects. We have the 4 defects, and so we will can become under illusion, can all make mistakes. So thank you so much, Prakash Prabhu. Suresh Mataji.
Hare Krishna. I joined the class very late. I couldn't get to my Zoom. I don't know what happened. And so I just missed it. I just had only last 5 minutes, and I can gather what about the discussion, what it was on about. So I can say just a few words. I'll just gathered what everybody been saying about Sati. And first of all, Daksha was not very spiritually advanced in knowledge like Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva is very advanced in spiritual life, in knowledge he got. And Krishna says in Bhagavad-Gita, Vidya Vanay Sampane Bambane Gavi Hastani Shuni Jo Swapake Cha Pandita Samdarshana. The people who are spiritually advanced, they see everybody equal vision. Well, Dashki couldn't do that. And he was thinking about Lord Shiva different from everybody. And on the other hand, Sati, she was very, very doubtful. One mind, she said, she wants to go to her parents' house to see mothers and sisters. And then the other hand, she was thinking about the insult of Lord Shiva by her father. So she was very doubtful, and she was like panicking. She didn't know what to do. So that's it. The mind always tell you, you go, do whether it's wrong or right. Mind says do it. But there's intelligence would tell you sometimes when we are thinking of something, shall I do it? Shall I not do it? Will I get benefit out of it or not? So that is intelligence. Intelligence tell you. And then we get in doubt whether to do it or not do it. And that was the situation of Mata Sati. And they say sometimes mind is so strong, sometimes it overrides intelligence. Then you just don't listen to intelligence, you just keep on doing what you think it is right. And they say the mind is like a horse's rein, and the intelligence is driver. So we have to, our intelligence, we should be, we are driver, we should try to control the rein or to control the mind. So, but sometimes when we want to do anything, we forget. So that was, I can say that was Sati. She knew, she's intelligence was telling her, you know, it's not right. She was in doubtful, but still, she got in such a situation that she didn't know what she was doing, and she just she ran out of the house, and she was so determined to go. And Lord Shiva was so passionate that he sent his assistant to go follow Mata Sati in case something happens to her. But Mata Sati, she was very, very confused. She didn't know what to do. So sometimes we have to listen to our intelligence, and doubt is very bad. The Prabhupada said doubt is like a devil. If you are doubting anything, don't do it. And so that's what I can say, because I don't know, I missed the class today, so that's what I can say, what I've heard about it. It's mostly I'm emphasizing mind and intelligence. That's how the situation in our life. Shall I do it? Shall I not do it? It is good or not bad. That intelligence is directing the mind, but sometimes the mind don't listen to intelligence. Sometimes, but most of the time we listen to our intelligence. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Madhuri. Yes, I mean, you're absolutely right. Although she's very intelligent and very knowledgeable, but her mind, her senses, so took over. Uncontrolled mind is enemy. Controlled mind is a friend who will elevate you, and uncontrolled mind will degrade you. And because you're left illogical and without control. And this is what happened in this case. And Mata Sati, she was left on her own to deal with this. And Lord Shiva says that don't go. And she was compelled to go. And so this situation that's now building up came, which Lord Shiva could foresee. So yeah, it's very difficult, because it was a very very intense situation. And Sati Mata, her emotions took over first of all. You know, when she saw everybody going to her father's house, first of all she was overtaken, but she could not bring herself back from that, and it just spiraled from there. Originally she wanted to go because she saw everybody else going, and she said, well, you know, if all the strangers can go to my house, I'm the daughter of the house, I'm the favorite daughter, why can't I go? I will also join. It started from there, and now it's become something totally different. Something very ugly is becoming of this. So thank you all so much. We'll continue this next week, same time. And now we can maybe do a couple of rounds. And if you like, you can dedicate one round to Nitai Charan Prabhu's wish him a quick recovery and a successful operation. So Sureshi Mataji, if you like to do the first round, and Parveen Mataji, are you able to do second round? I know you're looking after your grandchild. So okay.
Yeah, well, he might be noisy. I'll try.
Okay, so that's fine. So Rishi Mataji, would like to make a start, and you can offer whichever round you like to declare Charan Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta